Previously on Ballz.
Hello, Campo.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm well, mate. How are you?
Very good, thank you. David Campese on the phone today. The Skype in Mount Edgecombe is down.
Yes, mate. Sorry, it's a bit of a difference looking at you, and it's not the same, is it?
No, it's perfect because we know that your Skype's fine, but you just want us to put that beautiful picture of you on the website up.
I can imagine what it looks like. Yeah. Such is life.
All right, well, welcome. It is a very nice picture as well, by the way.
Thanks,
So that's what's standing there. You look like you're posing like a male model.
Oh, my goodness.
All righty, welcome. How was your weekend?
Yeah, mate, it wasn't too bad. I went up to the Underberg for a couple of days, which was fantastic, and it was quite interesting to see all the rugby games.
Yeah, you watched a lot?
I watched a lot. I watched the, obviously the All Blacks game was quite interesting, wasn't it?
Well, both of that and they were almost carbon copies of each other, both the Northern Hemisphere sides. And I must admit, I was sitting there going, let's make it another full house for the Southern Hemisphere again this weekend. So I was very happy to see both Northern Hemisphere teams, Ireland and Wales, losing out in the last minute.
Yeah, look, it was quite interesting because it's, you look at the week gone by, like the All Blacks were, 30-something to 10. And you think, well, the next week will be roughly the same. But, it was interesting because Ireland actually lifted their game. And again, to a drop goal, it's quite interesting how 7 days works. And now next week as well, I think you might find that a couple of teams might win next week because it's when you play each other week in, week out. I mean, you get to understand how the opposition play, and you say, oh, here we go again, we play the same guys, and it's very difficult to try and lift up and down week in, week out when you're playing Test rugby.
Obviously, with series done from a South African point of view, that's something that the coach, Jamie Gibson, is going to have to try and work on, the fact that the series is done, but now, as would happen with the Lions, people don't like the idea of, as I say, you lose the last test against the Lions, people remember that test, and suddenly it's a close series. The Springboks will want to make it a 3-0 whipping, yeah. No,
they will, Darren, but it was interesting watching, it's... Things were going right. Really, the first 20 minutes was unbelievable by the Boks, but England just had no idea. And I think it was a bit like the under-20s versus Argentina. At halftime, 2-0 up. But again, it's interesting because as soon as they made a couple of changes in that Springbok side, the momentum and the pressure seemed to have dropped. And it's difficult because I watched Keegan Daniel when he came on, and he's not the world's biggest guy, but they brought him on I think at the wrong time. He needs to come on where the game's a bit open, but he got in there to tight, and I think his first line there took, he almost got the ball turned over. And the players that came on, as soon as they took Yanni and Busy off, the scrum was different. And England sort of, just lifted the momentum and the tempo up.
Yeah. Well, that second half was bizarre. We thought, here comes an absolute pummeling in the game for the Springboks. And I mean, what happens that they suddenly just went into reverse? Because we thought, the previous week their second half was so good that they were just going to that actually got the English on the ropes. They were ready to be knocked out and just go and win this game by a long way. What did you see? I mean, what would have been the reason why they would have just suddenly let them back in like that?
Yeah, look, when you it's the only team that I know of that does that very well is the All Blacks. If they're 20-0 up at half-time, they'll make it 40-0 at full-time. They don't take the foot off the pedal. Where the Boks seem to have, again, what really inspired the Boks in that second half was J.P. Peterson, that run he made. That really lifted the game. And then once you get there, the crowd gets excited and they score the try. And everyone says, that's fantastic. But you take that away from that second half, and basically the Boks were behind. They didn't do well at all, and it just seems that when you're in front, we'll just kick the ball away. We're in front. Let them make the mistakes. You've got to keep on attacking. If you want to, you've got to respect the opposition by belting the living daylights out of them and the crap out of them, and keep on going for the 80 minutes. At half time, you go in there and say, right, we've got 20 10 to score. Let's make it 40. Let's go out there and actually give it to them. And I saw that Nick Mallett on TV saying, or in the paper, the Boks have got to play 80 minutes. But if you think about rugby, there's not too many teams these days actually go out there and play for the whole 80 minutes. It's very, very difficult. The game changes. And the other thing that's important, the referee makes some bizarre decisions and puts you on the back foot, or a couple of points here and there, and then you start to wonder, well, what have we got to do here? And then you go back into the same style you played in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a wake-up call. They haven't got that mentality to say, right, like the All Blacks always have, let's just win, let's just belch them, keep on going and going and going. And that's the thing I think that's lacking at the moment is the intensity for the 80 minutes, which is very, very difficult because some teams obviously, there was a line-out that was thrown wrong and scored a try, a couple of little mistakes. And what happens, you let the opposition straight back into the game. Australia, Wales did the same. Wales scored, a bad pass by Guinea, kicked through, scored the try. Just little mistakes that you think, well, these guys shouldn't be making that mistakes at this level.
Camper, Morné Steyn had a uncharacteristically bad game with the boot. Do you take him out of the test for Friday and perhaps give someone else a run at fly half, given that Steyn is in the side for his kicking?
Well, it's interesting because...
Saturday, sorry, I don't know why I got Friday on the brain.
Last year, the year before, the Wallabies played the All Blacks and Carter missed about 6 shots a goal and they still won. The thing is, you still won. If you lost, you say, right, we've got a problem here, but you still won. So, what do he's missed... Normally, he's not a bad kicker. So, he's had one off day. You've got to say, mate, sorry, you're out of the game now, you're finished. I mean, you've got to say, okay, well, everyone else performed, and that's what a good team is. A good team is you don't rely on one person. And I think they've demonstrated that the Box, didn't rely on him. Obviously, the kicks would have been great, but when the pressure was on, the whole team performed. Yeah. No, you'd have to pick him because I think if that's the future, what Mayer, the Hanneke Mayer wants, pick him. And if he picks a whole new team and the losers, everyone says, well, why didn't you stick to the old team? So just don't change the side. Just give them the same, respect they've had the last couple of weeks, and just go out there and do it again.
All right, don't panic. You haven't lost you. You're still there. We just got no word that we will get some news on the 3 injury concerns for the Springboks: Lambie, Creer, Jandre Creer, and Willem Alberts. Word has it that they were all going to be fine, but we can actually get confirmation on that right now from Dr. Craig Roberts.
Hi, it's Young. Please leave a message, and
or
I'll
maybe
get back
not.
to you as soon as possible. Bye.
Well done, Johnny.
Yeah, well, it's a telecom thing.
Yeah,
he's waiting for us.
No, it's not a telecom thing. It's a cell number, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, so we'll hopefully get hold of them just to get the actual word on what is the story with those
Lambie
3.
Didn't look great though. His ankle was strapped pretty heavily. So 7 days for an ankle injury, you never know. But it's not a. It's one off.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, who am I phoning here?
You're phoning the doctor. He's there waiting for us.
It's not his number.
Yeah, it is, Darren. It's fine. The media guy's waiting there for him.
He's not. This is
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, David. Just hold on one sec. We're just trying to get hold of this guy.
Okay.
And we'll carry on our chat. Just want to find out what the latest is with those 3 Springbok players. Hopefully, we'll get through to them now.
Young will answer, and you'll just put us through to him.
All right.
He's
Cool. Thanks a lot, Johnny.
Thanks, Darren.
Obviously, we'll just want to get touch on that Aussie game and also the All Blacks as well before we wrap it up here.
Technology.
Yeah, we got him now.
Hello, De Jong.
Hey, De Jong. Hi, it's Darren here at Ballz. Thanks a lot for taking our call.
No problem. How's things on that side?
Yeah, all good. We're just chatting to Campo at the moment. Is the good doctor available for us?
Yes, he is. And if you just hold on for a second, I'll quickly get him on the line for you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darren.
All right, we'll find out latest on Patrick Lambie, Jandre Creer, and Willem Alberts. Those are the 3 injury concerns for the Springboks. I was just thinking about that All Black Island game. I've never seen so many guys come off the field with black eyes.
Sure.
Well, I think the Irish obviously. I mean, it was actually a great effort by the Irish because they got belted the week before. But to turn around like that, and a minute and a half to go, and it was 19-all. You must say there was a great effort. But again, like the Welsh, they just cannot get their minds in a set to say we can beat these guys.
Yeah.
Ireland's never beaten the All Blacks ever.
All right, just a sec there, David Craig.
How are you, Darren? How's things?
Yeah, all right, new boss.
Yeah, very good. I had a busy day just finishing off training now in PE, so we had a huge turnout. So, yeah, it's been a good day.
Open session for the box. What kind of turnout do you guys have there today?
No, it was unbelievable. It was. We arrived in the bus, the guy said, what does the game start? I mean, really a huge turnout here in PE, and it was good. It got a good energy amongst the players, and we had a really good training session.
Awesome stuff. Well, it's good to hear. Obviously, everyone very amped after going and wrapping up the series against England. The big concerns, obviously, on game day were Patrick Lambie, Jandre Creer, and Willem Alberts. Better news started filtering through after the game, and you're the guy that obviously knows as the doc. What's the very latest on those three guys? Are we still going to have a fully fit squad for the weekend?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's never nice to have to immobilize a neck on the field, and Jandre was more precautionary than anything else. He went straight from the field to the hospital. We did some scans and that, and thankfully everything's been cleared. So that's good news for us. He did a full training session today, so he'll be available for the weekend.
So he wasn't just exhausted?
No, he wasn't just exhausted. He got quite a big knock. He's got a whiplash type injury of his neck. You could see it there. So,
are there no regulations that something like a whiplash or similar to concussion, that there's a standard or mandatory sort of week or 2 weeks you got to be out? As long as the doctor's okay, he's okay to be passed clear to play again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like that. For us, it's making the right clinical decision, and obviously if he's not right, he won't play, and essentially if he's struggling, then he obviously won't play either. So
okay,
that's the way we work it. Yeah.
And then obviously we heard today Joe Peterson's been given the heads up to join the side. That would obviously be in terms of Patrick Lambie's injury. We know Gio's still around as well. What's the status on Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick twisted his ankle. I'm sure a lot of the guys saw it when he went up for that high ball. He came down and twisted his ankle quite awkwardly. He was able to continue playing, but just after half time, when his ankle cooled down a bit, he started struggling, and that's why we made the decision to pull him off. He's got a lateral ligament sprain there. He's had some scans today. There's nothing really bad wrong with his ankle, although he's quite sore and stiff today. We're going to make a decision on Wednesday on his availability. So the coach has given us until Wednesday to make that call, and that's why we called up Joe, because France is away for his wedding this weekend, so we're a bit thin at fullback if that doesn't make it through. So, as I say, we'll wait until Wednesday and we'll make the call then.
None of the box invited to France's wedding. I mean, what's the story?
I know he got a bit of wrath for that at the Kentucky after the game, but it's very difficult to find a time when you can plan these things with the international schedule and that. So, some of the guys are disappointed, but we'll catch France at another time and celebrate with them.
All right, cool. I'm sure you will. And just finally, the only other one I've got here, Willem Alberts. What's the status with him? Is he okay?
Yeah. Willem twisted his knee when they scored that try at the back of the line out. He's got a medial ligament sprain there. He had some scans today, which also thankfully didn't show any major damage to the cruciates, is what we always worry with that type of injury. But he has got a medial ligament sprain, and he's in the same boat as Pat. We're going to give him until Wednesday to make the call, and Wednesday we'll make the decision whether he's going to be available for selection or not.
All right, Craig, appreciate you chatting to us. Send our regards to the team. We look forward to chatting to some of the boys again later in the week, hopefully. But all the best, and may the preparations continue as we head towards a 3-0 whitewash of England.
I like the way you're thinking. Thanks, man.
Awesome, Craig. Cheers, man. There we go. Dr. Craig Roberts joining us on Ballz Visual Radio today. So there we go. Looks like we'll probably have a full house there for the Springbok team. But, regardless of that, the depth there, having guys like Joe Peterson, who's in form, and Joe Aplon, Campo, that's a bonus for them. These guys can all step in and keep up the standard.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's one of the big things of international rugby. If you look at the All Blacks, they very, very rarely change their team. And the consistency and the continuity and the confidence is very important at this level. And you keep on changing players week in, week out, you cannot get the combinations right. And that's where I suppose the Box have got some really good players coming in. But I think that's where the coach after this England tour will probably sit down and pick a squad of 30 and say, right, this is going to be my next centre combination for the World Cup. This is how it's going to be, and just play them. The more they play together, the better they get. As simple as it's easy.
Who did you enjoy most in that game, Campo? I thought Willem Alberts, before he got taken off, I thought he was having an absolute blinder.
Yeah, look, he's a great player, isn't he? And I think that there's a lot of talk about picking players who really haven't been picked in tests, or they have but haven't been in there consistently. But some players, like Kutsia, they actually stand up. They actually love that level. Some players play good at Super Rugby, but they really struggle at the next level up, because it is the intensity. The skill factor should be a bit higher when you get into Test rugby. And Alberts and Kutsia work very, very well together, but Alberts is a very good ball carrier. And, that the Box obviously wanted to destroy the English, and by the runners and the power runners you've got, and you put Alberts up there, then you've got Spieth, and you've got these other guys coming through as well. So it's a pretty daunting task, but they did a great job, and I think that's what you need from the forwards. That's why, if you've got a good forward pack in international rugby, you normally do dominate.
I was saying to the under-21 coach earlier when we spoke to him about their win over the weekend in the Junior World Champs, that Aussie played in like the playoff 28th place or something. If you look at the talent coming through and the way that they both dominated their semi-finals, that the Springboks and the All Blacks have got to dominate rugby for the next 4 years, surely.
Yeah, look, they do, but if you have a look, I've watched the Box first game and a couple of other games, and look, they've got some good players, but I think the number 12, I don't know who he is for the Box.
Southfontein.
Yeah, he doesn't pass the ball.
He doesn't need to. He's a brick shithouse.
Well, that's right, mate. But when you go up a level, how long do you think he's going to last, Darren?
Feyenoord doesn't pass the ball either, David.
Well, that's why he's on the bench.
Nice.
Come on. I do watch the game, just remember. You've got to adapt to, you've got to, that's what I think rugby's about now. You've got to have players that can actually pass, support, show the ball, and get the opposition guessing. I mean, if he goes and plays Super Rugby next year, everyone say, well, this guy doesn't pass, we'll just smash him. Simple. You've got to add something new to the game, and unfortunately that's probably through the system of South African schoolboys as well. They're all big and fast and just run, but no one's got the skills to pass and keep the opposition guessing, step swerve, and that's what I think what's lacking in the game. If you saw England as well, England backs more likely the same. They just get the ball and run. They don't actually try and create any opportunities. And I said, if it wasn't for JP Peterson's great run, that could have been a very, very interesting test that last 10, 15 minutes.
Wow, I mean, they were wobbly, and it was, yeah, I mean, it clearly, I know Hanneke, as we get back to the test match, always has made a point of talking about how his bench has got to come on for impact. But do you think maybe that they might have kind of got it a little bit wrong with the changes they made in the second half, because there certainly was no impact with that, especially with the forwards that came on?
But why change?
Yeah.
Why not keep them there? I mean, the thing is, once upon a time you used to be the best 15 in the country. Now you're the best 22. Some players come on, and there was a great story that Chris Whittaker, the ex-halfback for the Wallabies, and when Rod McQueen was coaching, Tion Strauss was there, and he said against one side, I think it was Ireland, said, right, okay, second half, Tion, you're coming on with 20 to go. And he went through the back line and he said to Chris Whittaker, mate, you'll come on when Armageddon gets here. I mean, the thing is, you need players with impact. Players have got to come on and actually create the opportunities because they're fresh. Yeah. They should be watching the game and say, guys, this is what the opposition are doing. They just come on and say, right, what are we doing? How do we go? What do we? They've got to actually impact the game. That's what an impact player should be.
All right. Do you feel like getting to grips with one of the England players, or should we let you go and sit comfortably and you can listen and sip on a glass of wine?
Whatever you. I don't really mind, mate.
Are you cool to hang in there?
Yeah, I'm here. Always cool.
Because Jamie Gibson, part of the England party, one of the youngsters there, is ready to join us on the phone. So we'll give you a chance just to catch your breath for a couple of minutes, look at your headlines, and then we'll get straight into chatting to Jamie Gibson from the England squad.
No problem.
Be joining us in just a moment. David Campese remains on the line for our flush out on a Monday on Ballz Visual Radio. First of all, before we get to that, we're now joined by the one of the young England players who joins us on the phone from the England camp, and that is Jamie Gibson. Jamie, good afternoon. Welcome to Ballz Visual Radio and our flush out today.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to have you on the show as well. David Campese is on the other line, the legendary Wallaby wing, who can hear you as well.
Okay, well, I'm pretty honoured to be on the same line as him.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, David, and the flush out as well. And Jamie, just give us a little bit of sort of feedback on what the discussion was today in the England camp after the it looked like it was going to be one-way traffic in a test match that you guys almost turned around and went and won.
Oh no, it was obviously a brilliant match. Very, very well. It's a pretty disappointing first half, but the boys did brilliantly to come back second half and really showed a huge amount of character, and very nearly pinched it at the end. So a bit disappointing, but massive amount of positive to take out of it.
What was the key thing? I mean, what do you think? What was said at half time in that change? Because something certainly must have been said to turn that around. I mean, you were staring down the barrel in that game, and what was the key thing discussed at half time?
Well, the main thing was to make sure we kept positive, kept looking up, and we knew we had the firepower to hurt the South African Springboks, and just made sure we played our own game plan, started to get a bit of territory, and came back into it. But just making sure everybody knew that we had the ability to come back, and we showed what we could do.
obviously a lot of disappointment after losing that first test. A lot of people talking about the fact that you guys might have targeted that game to get your noses in front in the series. Now the series is done. What is the morale in the team like right now? I mean, how are you guys sort of keeping your morale up as you head towards Port Elizabeth?
Well, everybody's very disappointed not to be able to sort of push on and see if we could win the series at this point. But no, people are still looking forward to it. We want to finish the season. It's been a long year, but we want to finish it as winners, both tomorrow night and then again at the weekend. So people are looking forward to staking a claim in the future for the England squads and setting a marker down as the Lions did a few years ago by winning the final test.
Absolutely, and we were just discussing that with David a little earlier on about how the Lions winning that test against the Springboks. A lot of people remember that fact, and obviously it changes the complexion of a series. So there's definitely still something to play for.
No, very much so. If you came out and win 1 out of 3 tests in South Africa on home soil, you've done pretty well. They don't lose often here, especially at Johannesburg and down in Port Elizabeth. So it's a big challenge for all the boys, and something we're really looking forward to going out and seeing if we could do.
All right, David. Obviously, before we let Jamie go, just from your side, and I think much has been said about the unknown factor of both sides. There are a lot of youngsters in the side, and I think a point was made about the English side going, look, they're pretty much a young side as well. So, you in your experience, what do you say to a team like this has come on tour, obviously lost the series now, but there's a lot of youngsters there who might be sort of a little bit doubtful about the way forward? What do you say to them?
Yeah, look, it's very interesting because, especially in the modern game now, it's very different where, in the old days you played a test match, then you had a midweek game the Saturday, and a midweek then another test. So you could actually rebuild and obviously try and work out a few things, but it's hard now because you're playing test. For the younger guys, I think what's important is just go in and say, look, all we got to do is cut out the simple basic mistakes. Why kick the ball away to the opposition when you're behind? When you're behind, you should be trying to keep the ball. And I think Wales and Ireland were the same on the weekend. They kicked the ball away instead of saying, right, we've got 90 seconds to go. We can hold the ball for 90 seconds. We'll win the game. And all they did was kick the ball away. What happens? The line out, they lose. The other team gets the line out, get down, they get a penalty, and win the game. The confidence and just doing the simple basic things. You know how the South African play, and all that's important is just try to keep them guessing. If you keep the opposition guessing every now and then, what happens is then their defence pattern starts to change. If you keep on doing the same thing week in, week out, it's very, very easy to play. So I just think throw caution to the wind, do things that they don't expect you to do, and go from there.
Yeah. Jamie, anything to say on that?
No, definitely. As you said, there's sort of mistakes, those little things that I've always been pretty disappointed about, and something as a young squad you've got to work on, and hopefully you can keep improving as you get a bit more experience.
Yeah. What is the program like for you guys this week ahead of the final? I mean, is training as normal, or does the coach go, okay, look, guys, maybe it's been a really tough series already. You've played 2 tests, had the midweek games as well. Do you ease off on the pedal a little bit and give the guys time a bit more time to recover, or is it the same as normal?
I imagine it'll be pretty similar to normal. Obviously, test match has been physical, and I imagine tomorrow night will be another physical game. But with such a large squad, hopefully we've got the manpower to cover that. But no, the Springboks provide such a physical challenge. You can't go soft in a week, and maybe physical a few days before training, and hopefully come out and front up against the Springboks the weekend.
All right. Apart from the rugby, hopefully you're enjoying our country. What has been your favourite part of the trip so far?
I've had a brilliant time. I think it has to be down in Durban, being on the beach in what we'd consider, nice weather, but you'd consider winter.
Yeah.
So Lionel Beach, a bit of surfing down there was fantastic.
There is no winter in Durban. It's always summer there. Simon, final question.
A bit of a shock to us.
You must try go to the Golden Curtain in PE.
Sorry?
So you must try go to this place called the Golden Curtain in PE.
No, definitely then. I'm up for any recommendations, so I'll be heading on as soon as possible.
Yeah, ask around.
Go there if I was you.
I will do.
No, you're gonna love PE, Jamie.
Jamie, the Australian's saying stay away from there. It's a trap. Cool, Jamie. Well, nice to chat to you. I'm just trying to see, are you on Facebook?
I am, yes.
There's a whole lot of Jamie Gibsons there. Are you Jamie L. Gibson by any chance?
No, I'm not. Just straight Jamie Gibson.
Just straight Jamie Gibson. All right. If you want to follow him on Facebook, Jamie, thanks for chatting to us. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of the trip here in South Africa.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
I'm looking forward to it. Cheers. Thank you.
Jamie.
Golden Curtain, Jamie. Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye. Where the hell is the Golden Curtain? Why are you sending him there? Are you doing it for your country, Mr. Hill?
I wanted
hope
to
so.
get caught on CC what do you call it?
CCTV.
CCTV.
What is the Golden Curtain?
It's a strip
Strip
club.
club.
Oh, you can't.
No, gee, that's the
Oh,
last
come on,
interview
Darren,
I get
Darren,
now. That's
you
the
should
last
know that.
interview.
With a name like that, what do you think?
If it's golden showers, maybe. I'm a Golden Curtain.
I think you can get one there.
So Simon, you can set up the interviews.
How can you drag Mr. Campese's flush out down into that
Oh, listen
level?
to the Aussie there. He's loving a bit of smut there.
But I knew exactly what he was talking about, didn't I?
Yeah.
And he was so enthusiastic. He said, yes, he will definitely give it a try.
He is. You're probably going to read about it in the papers. Half England squad sent home for being at the Golden Curtain.
It's a final countdown.
What was your favourite part of tour when you came here, David? Touring. Where did you like to go most?
Look, it was obviously very different nowadays because we had midweek games as well, so you're always in the new town. Look, it's just the people. I think it's I remember '92 when we came here. We went to Northern Transvaal, played Loftus, and then we went to Potchefstroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was, and I I said to my wife Lara since we've been back as well, like I've been to Ermelo, I've been to places where you never in your life think you will actually end up going, and that's what rugby is such a great sport. You always go somewhere, you always find people who love the sport and they're fanatical. In this country, wherever you go, they love rugby. So it's, as a rugby player, it's a great place to tour, and you've got some fantastic sites as well.
All right, cool. Well, it's great to have you on the flush out, and great to chat to you again. And obviously, you don't mind if every now and again we do bring someone on board just to chat with them.
It's your show.
Just liven it up a bit.
Gee, you're going to get a slap when Mr. Campese pops in one day.
No, I should know, really.
He's a troublesome child,
He
Simon
is.
Hill.
Good on you, Dave.
David,
All right, guys.
thanks very much. Thanks for joining us on the flush out. Chat to you again next Monday.
Well, no tips this week?
Okay, well, let's run through the games. And
So you're falling apart.
No, we haven't. We only normally did them for the Super Rugby games, but let's do the test tips. Okay, go for it, Simon.
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Okay, the Blacks by 1, Wales to beat Australia, and the Box to win.
Are you a little worried about Australia?
No, well, I think that they, if it was not for Will Gurney at the moment, 2 tests, we'd be in big trouble. He's actually saving the day, but again, we keep on bringing players on, as you talked about, who are not really up to it. You've got to bring a player on in the second half who's going to create opportunities, not a guy who can just tackle. That's the way I look at it.
Box by how many, Camper?
Look, I think the Box by about probably 10 again.
10.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got that great referee going, so if the Australian referee could be anything.
Who's the ref this weekend?
Is it Walsh?
Is it Walsh again?
Yeah, again.
Because the English are whining about Walsh. They're whining about Alain Roland. I think it just goes without saying. We just whine about whoever the ref is anyway.
So you just got to get these laws going, because the laws of the game are so ridiculous. If you look over the last 3 games, the test matches on the weekend, the referees scrummaging, and the props are getting up, and even the commentators saying, well, the ref got it wrong.
Yeah.
And it costs you points.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. They've got to make it where it's a lot easier. I think next year they're going to bring in, what is it? Touch, pause, set?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Why don't you just get there and go say, set,
Go. Exactly.
There we
Yeah.
go.
It is crazy. And as
I'm a winger, so I don't really care, but that's my point of view.
as someone said, it's a tit for tat refereeing at the moment. They give one way and they give one another way, so they try and keep everyone happy. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, David. We hear the family is crying in the background, so we let you go.
Well,
Nice
I'll
to
see you next week, eh?
Yeah, definitely. We chat to you again next week.
Oh,
on
okay. I might be here because I'm actually off to Argentina next week.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm off to Argentina for the launch of the the International Four. What nations?
Oh, the Four Nations.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you go? When do you head off?
I should be Monday night at this stage, but I'll let you know.
All right, cool. Well, if you're available for the flush out here, we'll do it.
Hopefully I'll let you know.
Although it'd be great to catch up with you over there as well.
Fantastic. Okay.
All right, David. Thanks
See
very
ya.
much. Oh, listen. By the way, are you on Twitter yet?
Yes, I'm David Campese 11.
Oh, is it David Campese 11? Because every time I type it in, it doesn't come up. So we'll.
David Campese 11.
You must follow me, David,
Why?
because I would be honoured to be followed by you.
But I don't want to know about all these places you get to.
I don't tweet about that.
Hey? Give me a break.
I should have bounced some stuff off you, see if you like them.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah.
David Campese 11. Follow him on Twitter and your comments and thoughts as well.
David
You're welcome.
Campese 11.
David
Make it
Campese
simple for
11.
everyone.
Thanks, Dave.
See you guys.
Cheers, bud. Bye-bye. There you go, David Campese on the flush out today. I can see you're brewing to cause trouble with our Australian friend.
Please, man, he loves that stuff.
I know he does. In fact, I think he's not having nearly enough of an argument as he'd love to have.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to argue about. Because I don't think he's partial to Australian rugby, so you can't give them gears because he goes, yeah, you're right. And at the moment, the South African, I think he'd love to climb on our backs if there
was something to climb on our backs
Yeah.
for. We
So-
can make something up.
Like what?
I don't know. Give me
The golden curtain.
give me the night.
Oh, the golden curtain.
Nice place.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.